All right, guys. So your underlying energy is the Three of Pentacles. Wow. So the Three of Pentacles, let's talk about recognizing a future and then going after it and planning for it. So for a lot of you guys, I'm getting the sense that you guys are planning for the future with a certain individual. Last week, you guys, met up with somebody. You guys have met someone new, someone that's significant. Could be a friend, could be someone romantic. It could have been anything, really. But it felt good. That's the point. It felt good, and it made you guys feel, I don't know, it's something light about that energy. Last week was so wonderful. But this week now is like, you're trying to plan for the future, trying to figure out if there's a future to plan with this individual. You guys could be planning something with this individual, planning for some sort of long-term commitment with the partner. Figuring out what you need, figuring out boundaries, working with your own boundaries, and figuring out what it is that you guys want to look for in this relationship. Now, you have the Three of Wands underneath here, so that's talking about a lot of work being done, a lot of patience required as well. Making sure that you're putting in the effort, as well as applying enough patience. So this also is talking about someone from a distance too. Okay, so your current state of being is the Nine of Pentacles. Now, the Nine of Pentacles does indicate here feeling very independent, very confident in your ability to manifest. You're surrounded by your abundance, and this is a really good thing. Now, the thing here that's a little iffy here is that you can potentially get locked in your gilded cage or in your abundance, because it could be that your fortress is what's safe, and you know what's familiar about the certain situation, or you know what's certain about this, your current space. So you're stepping outside of your comfort zone may be a bit scary, but you're happy here. You're good. You're not really necessarily in need or dire need of change. So it's like, with the Nine of Pentacles, you really want to be careful about this, because especially if you've got, you believe you can get everything you need, you don't need anything additional. There is that feeling that you can isolate yourself, and that can kind of work against you sometimes, especially when growth is with people as well, right? Or growth is with doing other things. You could also be feeling very bored at this time too. It can occur. This situation can occur when there's nothing going on, like boredom. Pretty much boredom can come up when in your gilded cage, because you're familiar with everything. There's something different, there's something fresh, and it can kind of like harbor boredom. Okay, so I feel like in the future here, or your goal, right, you have the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups is coming up here. Honestly, it's almost like it's saying you want to have options. You want to have something going on that's a little bit exciting than what you got going on right now. The Nine of Pentacles is great. You feel very, like I said, you feel confident. You feel stable, but you may be surrounding yourself with a gilded cage. You may be feeling like you don't really need to do anything extra or anything additional, but this stuff doesn't stop here. But I feel like here you want to have some sort of offers, right? You want somebody to present something to you. Something that's at least that gets your attention, that gets you involved in something. Now, I do also feel like you guys may want to have a little bit of fun, and I know that's like a really weird characteristic or a really weird thing to say when it comes to the Seven of Cups. But Seven of Cups, like I said before, it comes up with fantasy, and it means fantasy sometimes, right? To kind of just delve into your dreams and imaginations and allow yourself to like kind of enjoy the fantasy of it. Having a bit of romance as well could come up with this as well. I feel like you guys really want some romance. Now, considering that you guys could be in a relationship, this could be that you guys are in a really supportive relationship. Financially, your partner lavishes you with lots of things. However, they're not available, they're not there, they're not giving you that emotional interaction, right? So that could be that as well. Like, you want some romance, you want some things going on, you really want something to happen, but this individual is nowhere to be found, right? Now you're trying to figure out what future you guys have together if they're focusing so much on money. Nine of Pentacles. The reason why you're not able to get the romance that you're looking for is because of the Nine of Pentacles. Oh, that's hard, right? They're concentrating on finances. They're concentrating on stability. They're concentrating on their worth or material, practical stuff. And that's a really annoying one at this, in a sense, right? Because you're like, you want to be romantic, but somebody is not really looking at romance. They're looking at where they can be in the next 20 years, how much they should be making by a certain amount, where they want to be with you in regards to a nice fancy house or something like that, right? They're thinking of the future as well, but they're thinking of it practically. And I feel like you're thinking about it practically too. I mean, Scorpios, you're very intelligent. You're not just thinking about one way or one thing. You guys think about all of them, but you understand the emotional importance of having, you understand the importance of having something emotionally binding between you and the person, or some emotional strength between the bond that you have. And if you loosen that because you're focusing on things, it weakens the emotional integrity, and that can potentially cause a relationship to fall out because there's nothing emotionally there. Finances can be fucking great, right? But if there's no love, there's no emotion, there's nothing showing, expressing romance or feelings or anything, it can kind of fall through. So I feel like with the Knight of Pentacles here, this individual is just not really focusing on the romance. So for some Scorpios, this could be even you guys. You guys could be very focusing practically, right? Not really wanting to get out of the gilded cage, but you feel very lonely, you feel very bored, and you don't really feel a lot of passion or feel a lot of a romance. And you want that, but it's kind of hard to switch your focus from love to, from money to support to stability to whatever you guys are trying to get to in regards to why you're focusing so hard on money, to romance, to love, to spending time with your partner. That's for some of you guys, not for all of you. Okay, now the reason why the Knight of Pentacles is, working so, is focusing on finance, so practical, really looking at the details, working very hard, is because of the King of Cups. It's because of you. Not that trying to get away from you, but I feel like they have so much love for you. They have so much, this person really feels something deep for you. You are their ideal person, and you and they, you. Or they are your ideal person, right? This is the person that's loving, that's supportive, that's everything. And I don't see anything negative. I don't feel any manipulation, nothing. This is more of like, they're working so hard right now because they're in love with you. And they don't get it. Like, they don't get it. Like, that's working hard. That's not how you show love. Not necessarily. That's not the only way. And that's where the communication may need to be. That's where the communication may need to come in, right? Where you have to communicate with them. It's like, hey, babe, I know that you're trying to do what you're doing because you love us and you want us to be somewhere. You want us to be safe. You want us to, manifest a place where it's, very comfortable and nice. That's great too. I want the same thing. However, I need you here with me because I don't want the money. Excuse me. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. So it's not about the money. So I feel like this individual is just so much in love with you that they're so focused on finances, so focused on the practical. And because of how much they love you. And it's not you to blame at all. It's still not your responsibility to do it out of love. That's what I'm pretty much trying to say. Doing everything like this out of love. Excuse me. I'm still going through my cold, guys, if you can't tell. Sorry. Now, your advice, guys, like I was saying, is the Page of Swords, which is communication. It is necessary for you to communicate what you need in the relationship, what you're looking for, what you want. Now, like I said, this person is not being malicious when they're distracted. Okay, they're focusing on work. They don't have a lot of time for you. It's not because they don't love you. It's because they're wanting to get somewhere stable for the both of you, for the relationship. They're taking this to another level. It's Virgo energy here. So be very careful here, all right? And this also could be an age difference between you and this individual. Somebody could also be still in school, but I feel like with the Page of Swords is talking about really speak your truth right now. Speak your truth. Tell them what you need, right? Tell them what you need. This is about talking about it. And you don't necessarily need to have it kind of like cushioned or fluffed. Just tell it like it is, Scorpio. I mean, the raw passion is, or the raw feeling is just perfectly good, right? Hey, I feel like I'm isolated. I'm all alone. I don't feel like I'm with you. Yes, these things that you give me are the things that you surround me with, or the things that we surround ourselves with. Finances are together that we, because we both work. It's great and all, and I feel safe in regards to our home, but I want you around. I want to be with you. I want to spend time with you. I want to love on you. And that's pretty much the same. That's the thing I was pretty much saying. So it's kind of crazy how the Page of Swords came up. I know I put it all down, but I go through each individual card, so I don't really see what's going on. So, yeah, so communicating with your partner is the best way to kind of get to where you guys want to be. Romantic, be more emotionally involved, get your emotions involved in there. I really feel like that's where the energy comes from. I feel like there's a lot more, you want to have more fun, you want to have play with a little bit more imagination, you want to have emotional interaction with your partner, you want romance. These two together, romance. This is also dreamy, so very dreamy energy. You want something to really pick up that emotion. Practically it's not gonna happen, but emotionally it definitely could. Now, this is a really good card to get in your feelings. Successful completion. You guys have wrapped things up. You guys got to a place where you guys are happy. You guys are in a relationship now where you guys can really begin something new together. That's why the Three of Pentacles is coming up in your energy. It really makes sense, right? Like, hey, you went through the steps to become a partnership, and now you guys are working together to make this relationship work. And you feel like you've just gotten the reward of a lifetime. Like, you feel like you gotten the reward of that cycle, and now you're ready and waiting for the real cycle to begin. That, the arguments, the fighting, the whatever, the forgiving, the healing, the growth, the romance, the passion. You really want that to really start. You want to get going, but you also are enjoying where you are right now. Consider this kind of the quiet before the storm. But if you feel good about where you guys are right now, which is absolutely great. The hopes and fears, though, you don't want to ever want to give up on the relationship. At the same time, you don't want to feel like you are pushed to that point. Like, you don't want to feel like you're tired, so bogged down with so many things, or feel so alone that you don't feel like you should even bother staying in the relationship. And that's the hard part, right? Considering that this individual is working so much and working so hard and focusing on the practical side, that they don't really see that they're breaking the relationship. They don't see that they're hurting the relationship, right? So somebody in here is not really looking at the relationship, and somebody's leaving someone isolated and alone and secluded. And it's not their fault. Like I said, it's not their fault. It's not your fault. It's nobody's fault. And there's no blame here necessary. It's all because of love, but it's misinterpreted. So that's why the communication is necessary. Now, I do see in your outcome that there's the Eight of Pentacles, right? There's some work that needs to be done in the relationship. Not necessarily physical work outside, but also work to be done in the relationship. Now, it's not, it's not going to just happen overnight. So it's best to, prepare yourself for when you have the conversation of what you need to have in the relationship, what you want to have in the relationship. It's a good thing to remember that it's not going to happen overnight. You're going to want to continue to talk about what you need from, then forward, and really work on it, really to have patience with that person and really hammer out those things that, hammer out those things that need to be worked on for you and for that person and for the relationship, for the integrity of the relationship. You really want to give it time, space, and, patience. Wow. You and Libra got the same card. So for your wisdom of the oracle for this week, you guys have Fates. And Fates is talking about destiny. It is straight up destiny. Fate, things that happen for a reason. There is a certain reason why things happen. And it's always to get us to, not necessarily to get us to see something, but there is a purpose to everything that we do. So when it comes to that, when it comes to the fates, I do get this feeling that, I do get this feeling that this is where you were meant to be, to not just to build a relationship, but to develop in yourself within a relationship. Okay. Okay, so, this is just kind of like a process, but also, figuring out, because it's not, just because something is, like, set to be, or that, destiny has rang its bell, doesn't mean that you can't shift it. That doesn't mean you can't change it. You still have free will. Okay, the situation isn't meant to be that you will be alone in your relationships. Never. What it's saying is that you're in a relationship now to test your power that you have in your relationships, and pretty much your power of communication, the power of words, to really get you to communicate with your partner, to talk to them about how you feel. It's a beautiful thing. It's a really beautiful thing. Now for your whispers of love for the week, you guys have Look at your pattern in relationships. It requires inner strength to recognize that you need to change or modify your behavior. Now, this isn't bad. Again, like, for some of you guys out there, I feel like you may have in the past possibly suffered in silence. For some of you guys, if you guys have been feeling alone, feeling burdened, or feeling left out in the cold in some ways in the relationship, it potentially could have been that there wasn't a lot of communication between you and your partner, possibly not healthy communication, if no communication at all. And that doesn't, like I said, this is in the very beginning, it's not going to apply to everybody. And there's certain patterns of relationships that we all do. Very guilty of this myself, right? We all do something that we just consciously do as individuals when we're with somebody. That's just kind of how we are as individuals. So it's understanding that pattern and seeing why it's there, and then seeing the effect of what the pattern is doing in the relationship to course correct. That's why the face is there. Things are there. Things happen to show us what we may need to change, what needs to be improved, etc. Never to put us in a situation and just leave us there because that's what we're meant to do. No. It's meant to push change. It's meant to push and shift. Okay. So guys, this has been your reading for this week. Oh my goodness. Still, congratulations, guys. It's gonna take, it's hard to communicate what you want, especially if you've never really done it before, or if you've never really felt comfortable doing that, because you don't want to be that person that's like, I need this, I need that, I need that. But that's not what that is. Don't ever feel that way. And if the person, and it's like, again, there's not their, it's nobody's fault for doing X, Y, and Z, but it's just love. It's the feeling of love and how each of you individually express it. So the individual may not even realize, like your person may not even realize that they're focusing on work is not really helping the relationship become stronger, because the way that they're expressing their love is trying to get to a place of more stability, and it's not necessarily going to bring up anything, tangible, right? And this could be you guys as well. So it's all about having patience and understanding where everybody comes from, and not coming from a place of hurt, but coming from a place of understanding, and coming from a place of feeling, right? You still feel alone, but it's also, you want to understand that where they're coming from, at least hear them out. The reading says one thing, but they may have another reason for another, okay? So be always open-minded.